Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Mike Brenner coming to you with the Brenner Blast and the Brenner Breakdown for Tuesday, March 6th. All right. Hey, one of them nights, man, and I'm not going to say, bottom line, I had some commenters and they go this and that. You know what? All right, we're on a bad run. All right, 11-9 out of the last 20. All right, well, at least we're on top of the book. If you take away the juice, we're cutting it around even. But you know what? That's okay. It's better than being down in the barrel, for crying out loud. Hey, private picks last night, paid picks, 2-0. Got it done. Had the Cleveland Cavaliers on the full game -6, and we had the Boston Celtics on the first half, -3.5. They were up by 26, and Cleveland won by 22. So convincing ticket cashers for the paid picks last night. Again, guys, these free picks, you don't have to play them. Heck, I had one guy said, Brenner, I just like the breakdowns. Just break down the games for me. Hey, I don't mind doing that at all. There's no quit on this team, and there's nobody in this business that hasn't been in a funk or hasn't had to face a bounce back opportunity with their backs against the wall. So keep the comments coming. I don't care. I'm okay with it, guys. I am okay with it, and I promise you that. All right, again, 2-0 on those paid picks, and that is absolutely knocking it out of the park. All right, let's get into it. College basketball, limited slate. We got the ACC tourney, and we got a bunch of games in that. Georgia Tech, 13-18 on the year, taking on Boston College. Boston College, 17-14 on the year. That's the best season they've had since 2011. So, those kids are playing with a lot of pride. They definitely think they can win this tournament. So they're going to come out. They're going to bring it. 4 out of the last 6 years, these teams have met in the opener of this tournament. Again, ACC tourney. This is an early game at 12 noon. Boston College favored by -2.5. No call in that one. Then you got Pittsburgh later on after this game for the ACC, taking on Notre Dame. Pitt, man, you ready for this? Where's Jamie Dixon? All right, they have lost a program record 18 in a row, this team. 8-23 on the year. Virginia Tech's waiting on the winner of this game because Notre Dame, all right, this game is favoring Notre Dame -17. They're 12-4 since Bonzie Coleman came back. The whole team plays better when that young man is inserted into the lineup. So they have a lot of energy, they got confidence, and they're playing good ball right now. So with that being said, Notre Dame -17 against Pittsburgh at 2 p.m. start today. No call on that. And another ACC tournament game, you got Wake Forest taking on Syracuse. Now, even these teams have split the 2 meetings so far this year with the home court advantage paying out for each one when they were at home. Well, in the tournament, there's no home court advantage, so to say, but I'm telling you, Brooklyn, New York, it's just not too damn far away from Syracuse. So if there's going to be any type of advantage, I believe it will be Syracuse. Wake Forest, all right, they split 2 meetings, like I said, with this team. I don't know. Wake lost 2 straight to end the regular season. Syracuse, 0-3 in conference postseason since joining the ACC 5 years ago. So they would like to get 1 win in this tournament. I think Syracuse is going to come out early in Dalton. I think they're going to get it done. But again, you never know because sometimes these teams, they just go grind it out. So right now, it's Syracuse favored -4.5. I'm going to be staying off of that as of now. Again, it's just that battle. And I think Wake Forest is going to bring everything they have, knowing that when they limped into this tournament, losing the last 2, they would like to redeem themselves. So Syracuse, again, postseason play in the ACC has not been good to them. Then you've got BYU versus Gonzaga. There's no line out yet. BYU, they beat St. Mary's outright as a big dog. My hat's off to them. They brought it. And the Zags, they pummeled San Francisco, crushed that team. The West Coast Conference Tournament should be called the Gonzaga Invitational, for crying out loud. This team has just been dominating and bringing it year in and year out. Again, BYU versus Gonzaga. There's no line yet. So there's some 3 games to break down. It's a small slate today. I've got no picks in the college basketball, but I did want to just break those down for you for those guys that said, hey, Brenner, just break them down for me. You got it, my man. No problem. All right, let's get into some NBA. There's a big slate, and I'm going to bust down some games. You've got Denver taking on Dallas. Okay, Denver is favored on the road, -4.5. They're 35-28 on the year. Okay, they were 9-19 away from home until they just won their last two. They beat Memphis on the road and they beat Cleveland on the road, and did it pretty convincingly. So Mike Malone, I talk about this coach a lot. He's that player's coach. He said those wins were crucial in our confidence moving forward, because this team, all right, they got a shot at the playoffs. They're probably going to have a playoff spot, and you better win on the road in the playoffs if you plan on moving forward. They're getting some great production from Gary Harris and Will Barton. They combined for 55 versus the Cavs. They really brought it. Denver, they could be just a dangerous team. All right, Nowitzki, he scored 23 last time out. He wants to feel the rush of winning again before he lays it down. The 39, soon-to-be 40-year-older, this is probably going to be his last year. Matter of fact, I'm sure it is. All right, this team is not going to be making any noise for several years. The home team has won each of the last 3 meetings. So Dallas, they're not quitting. As long as Rick Carlisle's coaching that team, they're not going to tank like Mark Cuban said. All right, so I think that team will bring it. And Nowitzki, again, he got that high. He felt it, baby, after scoring 23. He's trying to move up on the rebound list and everything else. So he's got some records he could eclipse before he calls it a career. Again, Denver, -4.5 on the road at Dallas. And then you've got New York. They're going to play at Portland. All right, New York, they lost 103-91 at home to Portland early in the season. That was back in November. All right, they have now lost 4 in a row. They've lost 12 of 13. Jeff Hornacek said, we're definitely going down the wrong direction. Portland, on the other hand, they're favored in this game at home, -9.5. Damian Lillard averaged 35 points his last 9. He scored 19 points in the fourth quarter last night to edge the Lakers. He might be tired, baby, but I'm telling you, that team looks like they can do some damage as long as Lillard stays healthy. And again, New York, they're not no threat to anybody at this point. So I'm going to pull the trigger with one pick in the NBA as far as a solo pick, and it's going to be the third quarter with Portland -2.5. I think they come out of that break at halftime and they realize we got to put this team away. Let's do it now and rest our starters in the fourth. So I like that spot. Pulling the trigger, baby. Portland Trailblazers on that third quarter -2.5. All right, then we got Miami. Miami going to play at Washington. Miami 34-30 on the year. They continue to have the edge over the Wizards. They beat them 6 out of the last 7 times. They pounded the Suns last night. They've got the 7th spot in the East, and they're 2 games behind the Wizards for the 5th spot. Washington, on the other hand, 36-28. They're trying to avoid a winless 4-game homestand. John Wall effect is certainly now become a factor, okay? Bradley Beal's getting tired. He's not bringing it consistently like he was, and I think the lack of depth on that bench is really starting to catch up to that team. Washington is favored -5 at home. I don't have a call on this on the full game or the first half in that. Then you've got Houston. All right, favored -4.5 at OKC. All right, OKC is the middle of an 8-team battle for 6 spots in the West, okay? It just, I don't know, they sunk to their 7th they lost by 8 at Portland on Saturday. The Thunder, though, they tend to get up for big quality teams like this. The top tier teams, it seems like they all gather together and go, all right, this is everything, bring it, bring it. But Houston, 15-game winning streak, quietly getting it done, okay? Coach Mike D'Antoni says this team doesn't get cocky, they don't look too far forward, and they stay in the moment. And that is absolutely huge coming from a head coach. This team's playing unselfish ball. They're clinging to that top spot in the West, trying to get the best of Golden State going into the playoffs. Again, they have won 15 in a row playing very unselfish ball. Houston Rockets -4.5 against OKC. I got no call in that one. Then you got Brooklyn going to play at Golden State. They lost by 7 at home versus the Warriors earlier in the year. So this young squad, they have no quit in them. They hang in there against top-tier teams, and actually they bring it on a nightly basis. It just does not translate to outright straight-up wins. Golden State, on the other hand, all right, Curry has that ankle issue, and I wouldn't be surprised last minute they sit him, but you never know. You never know what's going on in Steve Kerr's mind. But one thing I know, what's going on in Kevin Durant's mind, my God, this guy is on a roll. They have not lost since after the All-Star break. They've won 6 straight, and Durant is shooting 61% the last 3 games. That's huge. That's bringing it, and that's MVP style. But, again, Golden State, even if Curry does sit, this team has too many weapons, and this could be that night that Brooklyn gets shellacked. But it's 14.5 points, staying off that one. And now let's jump down to the next one. New Orleans, okay, playing at LA Clippers. New Orleans, 8-game winning streak. They're tied for 4th in the West. And I'm telling you, Anthony Davis has a double-double in all of these 8 games that they've won in a row. You're going up against a pesky LA Clippers squad, though. I said it, Doc Rivers coaching his ass off. He's got Tobias Harris and his own son, Austin Rivers, playing over their heads right now, bringing it on a nightly basis. This team has scored over 120 points 6 of its last 7 games. The line, LA Clippers -3. But New Orleans, they're playing with just a vengeance right now. They have learned to live without DeMarcus Cousins. Drew Holiday is really bringing it on a nightly basis. And Rajon Rondo is contributing, and he's not playing selfish ball at all. We'll see what happens there. Clippers -3. No calling that. And then here we go, baby. I like it. I like it a lot. 76ers at Charlotte. Now, when I say I like it, it's not for a pick. I like it as a fan. I think this is going to be a dogfight. The road has been very unkind to the Sixers' young squad. They got 13 straight wins at home, but on the road, it's a whole different story. Tell you what, Coach Brett Brown told him, he said, guys, we have got to find a way to learn to win consistently on the road. Otherwise, we're going to be wasting our season going into the playoffs. Charlotte, 28-36, clinging, holding on for dear life, trying to make it into the playoffs. They lost at Philly 103-98 last Friday. Nicholas Batum averaged 9.4 assists per game his last 5. The team, though, Charlotte, had dropped 3 straight road games, so they're just glad to be at home. Again, it's Sixers favored -1.5 at Charlotte. No call in that. And then the last one we'll break down, Atlanta Hawks playing against Toronto. This is a frisky team of late, Atlanta. They're playing spoiler role, 2-2 on their last homestand. They're in rebuild mode. And I'm telling you, Budenholzer, the coach, he has no quit in him. He's trying to take a look at what he's got to work with for next year because they did lose a lot of players, went through a lot of stuff on the offseason. Toronto, on the other hand, this team is winning with Lowry and DeRozan really not on top of their game. If those two sharpen up at the same time, that team's going to be dangerous, all right? The East isn't what it used to be, but you've got Cleveland, all right? They kicked some ass and took some names last night. Toronto better not get too comfortable or they're going to be having trouble like they do every postseason, heading home early and not being a threat. But they better take care of business here. This is a huge line. Toronto, -12.5. I think they can do it, though. They won the first 3 meetings against Atlanta by an average of 20 points. I'm staying off it because Atlanta's got nothing to lose playing that spoiler role. Okay, guys, let's get into it. I've got one play. That's it, and I like it. All right, this doesn't include my paid picks, though. This is a 3-team, 7-point teaser, Brenner style, baby, in the NBA. We're going to go with Miami. They'll be +12. Golden State -7.5, and New Orleans +10. That's right, 3-team teaser. Miami, Golden State, and New Orleans. Let's get it done. Hey, for those positive comment guys, thank you so much. There's guys that understand. Hell, this guy's just giving away his picks. Why are you beating him up? It's okay. I'll take 11-9 right now. I'll take 11 out of 20 with an opportunity to move forward. Let's get it done tonight with the teaser. All right, take care of your family. That does come first on this team. Pay it forward, guys. Bet responsible. Beat your bookie. Let's build that bank back up with Brenner. And don't forget, the Brenner Blast and the Brenner Breakdown is coming to you, baby, with no quit.